followed by Yaël Ossowski and Consumer Choice Radio from 10 until 11 here on the Big Talker FM on Saturdays. Yaël, I hope you're having a great week, and how's it going out there in the shutdown world of Vienna, Austria today?
Well, Joe, the hair is long, the days are short, and the tolerance for boredom is through the roof. So we're doing really well here.
So I'm sure you've got a lot of time to analyze all the things that are going on in the world of web development, consumer choice, all of the deep dive policy issues that we'll be able to discuss at length in the weeks ahead. I mean, I'm looking for an encyclopedia worth of information coming from you since you've got all this free time on your hands these days.
Well, yeah, I don't know how long I can talk today, Joe. I got to go change a couple diapers too. It's getting pretty busy around here, but that's pretty much what we can do, and that's why I'm very thankful for technology that allows me to do all this stuff, to be able to connect with you every week, and really try to continue making a living and connecting with friends and family.
I have and you know it very well. I often call you with my love-hate relationship for technology and big tech. As you said, it allows us to communicate the way we do and access information like never before. But then I look at some of our young people and say, well, their lives are going down the toilet because we have not come up with a measured way to provide balance to our young people as far as how much time and what type of time is spent in front of the phone or the computer on many of these social media platforms and other mediums that are so popular out there, when our childhood was very much different. They're losing out on that. So my love-hate relationship with this. Is this the reason why a lot of people just can't stand the robot of Mark Zuckerberg or the goat beard of Jack Dorsey?
Yeah, I mean, I think I heard you and Chad Adams there throwing shade earlier about this topic, but, I would say that the reason that most people that we kind of hear about in the media, and it's a very, vocal minority of people who are totally against the larger tech companies. Again, they're not really bringing up the same issues that you are in terms of the fact that, people look at screens all day and they scroll, and our young kids are on TikTok and Instagram and all the rest. It's not because of that. It's really about control of information and who gets to decide what the narrative is going to be. And I think that's something that is a byproduct of all this great technology, is that we are able to use things like Twitter, Facebook, any other social media out there to voice our opinions, to share them with people, to share projects and ideas and pictures of the amazing meal that we've made, or maybe share our latest article or latest picture from the beach. I think that's something to where before mass media was only books and printing and newspapers and was very tightly controlled, and now everyone is a publisher. And of course, people are going to be lazy and people are just going to scroll all day and not contribute anything. But the thing is we have the freedom to do so. And I think that's something that is just overlooked by so many people, is that, for every person that you might find who you don't think is providing any value on any of these networks, I can guarantee you that they're doing a lot. A lot of younger people are using their phones and connecting. They're learning different languages. They're learning new skills, new techniques. I mean, for myself, I'm spending hours every week on YouTube just trying to learn some kind of new skills. I got to make myself, some kind of marketable person in this new COVID reality. So we always have to, be learning. And I think a lot of people are doing that. Obviously, that's masked by a lot of dance videos and things that might be doing. But why people hate big tech, I think it really just comes down to control of information. And people don't like when so many people have freedom of speech online, are able to write and post whatever they want. And yeah, sometimes you're going to get criticized for it, especially if it's ridiculous or dumb. But that's kind of the great part. It's a back and forth. And, any conversation where you might bring up a very dumb point, Joe, I'll go ahead and retort you. And if you did it online, I do the same thing. I hope that's the same for everyone.
Hey, yeah. Let me ask you. I think as many people really over the last few years have been further engaged in some of these platforms and understanding what goes on behind them, other than you just type something and then post it and you move on with your day, is the fact that more people are becoming aware of the fact that I will mention, say, the Ford Mustang right now, and all of a sudden, as I scroll to my Facebook page, there will be an ad targeting me for the purchase of a Ford Mustang. When we talk about government regulation into that and the data grab that some of these platforms have to market products that I'm thinking about right now, and somehow they know that I'm thinking about it, there's a fine line there, is there not? Or are we, going down a pathway of regulation that we'll never be able to get back? And who does that benefit, actually, if we do, start regulating organizations like Facebook and Twitter? Doesn't it ultimately benefit them and make it harder for competitors to make, their move in the industry if, in fact, Facebook and Twitter are able to make the rules and then, go about their days in, bending and flexing the rules? We want more competition, in these realms?
Yeah, I think it's similar to that. And, Joe, I tell you all the time I live in the future, not just because I'm able to predict things, but I'm 6 hours ahead, and I'm also on a different continent where they have terrible regulation. And that's what we see happening by the European Parliament. They passed this huge declaration saying targeted advertising must go. It must be eradicated. And that's kind of the big reason why there is no large tech firm or company that's based in Europe. They're all American companies because that's where the innovation comes from. And for the targeted advertising that you mentioned, whether it be Ford Mustang or the Chevy Camaro or whatever car you might prefer, I think this is actually an awesome, amazing innovation that has allowed us to reach people like never before. And when I say we, I mean my group, Consumer Choice Center. I mean every environmental group, every small political party, every small business that might be right there in downtown Wilmington. They have the ability to reach customers not just on their zip code or based on where they might live, but because of their age or their interest and what they've put on social media. And that's actually a great algorithm and a great technology that has been built that allows small businesses to advertise to people. I mean, look, sending out flyers is really expensive. It's pretty dumb because you'll send out 100,000, maybe only 10 people will come to your store. With targeted advertising, you actually have a smart way to reach people who might be interested in your golf clubs or your clothing products or whatever it might be. And it's something that I think has been very beneficial. And it's great for groups like mine where we're trying to reach people, policymakers. It's great for environmental groups who are looking to raise funds for their projects, and really for those small businesses. And, people might say they don't like that kind of advertising. They're all against it. Hey, come on board. I'll teach you how to use, all the browsers to block ads. I'll teach you how to set up a Raspberry Pi. We'll use VPNs. And that is the thing, is the technology exists. If you don't want to have that targeted advertising, you can turn it all off whenever you want, but most people won't because they actually prefer to have smart ads that are targeted to them than dumb ads that don't make any sense, and people are getting ads for baby diapers when they're not even in a relationship, or the rest, Joe. You've probably seen a couple of these.
Yaël Ossowski with the Consumer Choice Center. He's host of the Consumer Choice Radio Show. You can find his work along with the colleagues of his at consumerchoicecenter.org. Yaël, over the last hour in our conversations with the home builders, with our mortgage guy, we've talked about what the future holds under a new administration. Give us your thoughts on some of the big plans that are being put forward by a Joe Biden and a Kamala Harris. I mean, what will that mean for the average American family like mine?
I heard there was a press conference yesterday given by Joe Biden. Happy birthday there, Joe Biden. I think it was mentioned before. But he was giving a press conference and discussing a couple of topics, and was already mentioning the legislative proposals that his and Kamala Harris's administration were going to pass. And from the get-go, it sounds as if there's going to be a large financial package that will go to areas that have been the worst hit from COVID and Corona. And we know what that means. It's going to mean that a lot of money is going to end up in blue states. It's going to end up in places like New York and New Jersey and Washington, D.C., and places that have had larger death rates, which happen to be also Democrat-run areas. I think this is kind of the hashtag blue bailout that many people were always thinking and talking about, because the financial problems that are an issue in New York and New Jersey and D.C. and any of these other cities or states, the problems have been there for a long time. The pension costs are really high. Most of these places are spending an untold amount of money on whatever kind of program you've ever seen. I know you're a huge fan of Andrew Cuomo. You can imagine that him, with all the spending that he's been doing in New York State, all the money that's being spent on XY program, all the new things that they're promising to everyone, I mean, that bill is coming due. And I think that's kind of what the governors, whenever they were speaking with Joe Biden, they told him, look, we're going to support you and we'll be all in and we'll go all the way, but we need to have money in our coffers today. I'm not sure if North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper is in on that call. Not sure. North Carolina is actually in a pretty good financial position, thanks to Falwell and all the great people who also are on the Joe Catenacci show. But I got to tell you, Joe, I don't know what it looks like from here on out. I do know that there's a lot of horses being traded. There's a lot of favors, a lot of closed-door meetings, and I'm not even talking about the one where Gavin Newsom was in California breaking all his quarantine rules.
So what you're saying is we're returning to the status quo in Washington, D.C. in the not-so-distant future.
Yeah, it looks like it. Some would say it's a little, smack of swampiness, but as you well know, it never really went away. It was kind of always there lurking, and there's going to be a lot of backroom deals, and I think that's one thing that people were stunned by when it came to President Trump is he just kind of spoke his mind. He wasn't trying to hide anything with his words or play smart with his vocabulary. He just kind of gave it to you as it was, and a lot of people didn't like it, but some people did. And what we're kind of going back to now is good old, political doublespeak. So it's going to pose a lot of problems for many of us, but it means for consumer advocates like myself and my colleagues, we got a lot of work to do, and we're going to be really busy in the new year.
And there's no doubt it'll make programs like this even more entertaining and informative because, hey, at least they speak decently in front of the camera while they're sticking it to us on the backside. Typical Washington politics. My favorite thing to discuss on a Friday as we head into the weekend. Yaël, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I know that you're on another continent and you're 6 hours ahead of us, but I know you and your family, great people, and I hope you're able to get some a slice of really on how great of a life that we really do have when you get rid of all of the other crap that's going on day to day.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot to be thankful for, so everybody enjoy the time with your family. I know I will, even if it is by government mandate that I'm not allowed to meet anyone else, but it's going to be a great smoked turkey with some maple wood, and it's going to be a beautiful Thanksgiving, and really the I guess, second Thanksgiving now for our daughter, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I can't wait till next week when you get to break down for us what that complete lockdown really requires as far as who you can talk to, where you can go with.
Yeah, don't worry, Joe. You might also find me in jail because I'm a Thanksgiving scofflaw. I'm going to break all the rules. We're going to do this the right way because Thanksgiving is its own holiday.